Security guarantees are the main axis of Ukraine's negotiations with the United States. President Volodymyr Zelensky will fly to Washington tomorrow. Both sides have significantly lowered the temperature of the talk, and it seems that today they are very close to an agreement. American signals sent to Moscow on this occasion clearly indicate that there will be no kid gloves in the upcoming peace talks. Today, before noon local time, two B-52's Stratofortress strategic bombers, America's nuclear deterrent, flew over Poland. This is a clear signal. Regardless of diplomacy, the Americans are warning Moscow against further escalation. The eyes of the world will be on Washington in the coming hours. A Ukrainian delegation led by President Zelensky is flying to the United States. This will be his first visit to the White House since the US elections.
President Zelensky is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed, and we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. And I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. You really did an amazing job. And that'll be on rare earth and other things.
The agreement is expected to be the first step toward close economic cooperation. According to leaked details, it includes the creation of a joint Ukrainian-American fund to help rebuild the country. Kyiv, however, wants more. This is theoretically an economic argument, but I would ask you at least to understand this is theoretically an economic agreement, but I would ask you to at least understand that this is all part of future security guarantees. That's why I really wanted at least one sentence guaranteeing Ukraine's security to appear in the framework agreement. The Ukrainian president wants to secure his country with insurance in the form of American business interests in the country. Placing American capital on Ukrainian soil is supposed to be a guarantee that the United States will defend that soil. Zelensky has no other choice because he knows very well that if he lets the United States into Ukrainian territory economically, he will also have military protection, which may not be direct, but we all know that where Americans invest economically, they also try to ensure stability. Donald Trump, however, does not want to unequivocally declare an American commitment to Ukraine's security today. After all, a diplomatic standoff with Russia is playing out in the background. On the other hand, however, he makes it clear that the US will not just leave Kyiv at Moscow's mercy.
Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, we're talking about Europe as the next door neighbor. But we're going to make sure everything goes well.
As experts point out, Washington's deal with Kyiv has another very important dimension. The Americans gain a good reason to support Ukraine in some vitally important claims.
Some of the most interesting rare earth deposits are actually currently on Russian-occupied territory. So the potential of this deal to really supply rare earths to the US, it's far away.
Crucially, this issue is within the scope of the Washington-Kiev-Moscow A talks. President Trump has unequivocally stated that the issue of the return of Russian-occupied territories will be on the negotiating table.
We're going to do the best we can to make the best deal we can for both sides, but for Ukraine, we're going to try very hard to make a good deal so that they can get as much back as possible.
The Kremlin is already questioning proposals to send European troops to Ukraine as part of a stabilization mission, and it is doubtful that it will agree to give back what it has seized. It is therefore possible that the negotiations will be very short, and as Trump has indicated, if they fail, the Americans will send Kiev whatever military equipment it desires.
Kamil Trzaska, Republika.